So earlier today they had a 30% chance of rain, and it just downpoured. So I wanted to come out here and check my French drain. I told you that I'd worked on my French drain. Well, it lasted for 15 minutes or so. So I came out with the camera and the whole thing, but I rushed through setting up the camera. It's a chore setting up for it to be waterproof. Now, it's 100% chance of rain, and it's barely a drizzle. The weathermen have been wrong for, I don't know, 2 or 3 days now. I ran the generator to charge the batteries 2 mornings in a row now because they said it was going to be completely cloudy. And actually, most of the day was pretty sunny. So I guess you just can't depend on the weather, man. But they say that I'm supposed to believe that their predictions 50 years in the future are spot on. Okay, so I did come out and check the French drain. Now, I made a video about this a few days ago, and I was having some problems with the drain, and it clogged up. What happened was I dug this ditch, and the ditch is preventing most of my problems. So I didn't really think about the French drain anymore. I really didn't care if it worked or not anymore because I thought the ditch was doing a good job. But the other day, it rained so much that it overwhelmed the ditch and it came over into the French drain. Well, it was clogged up because I dug the ditch and I threw dirt on top of it. Now, when I threw dirt on top of it, it's because I thought the end of the French drain was way down here past the tarp. But it wasn't. It's where that pipe is. So I really messed that up. So I dug out the French drain, unclogged it. There was just rocks and stuff in it. And I put this pipe into it. So the other day, yesterday I think it was, day before yesterday, I showed you I poured a coffee can of water in here and it ran down to the end of this pipe that I just attached. So now the water can drain from all the way over there. That's where the French drain starts. It runs all the way down to here and then out, down past the hill. So, like I said, this is rock, and then underneath the rock is a pipe, 4-inch pipe that has holes in it. I drilled holes in that pipe. You can buy pipe that has holes in it, but I just wanted the holes on the bottom. I didn't want them on the top. That way, the water runs around the pipe and then drains down. But you can see we're getting some water here. It's running off. Now, I'm getting ready to show you the end of the pipe, but when it was really downpouring, water was coming out of it, so it was working. My fear is that I bring you over here now, we won't see anything because it's just not raining that hard. As a matter of fact, I took my hood off my rain jacket. It's just a little drizzle. But what is interesting is just that little bit of rain, and I've collected quite a bit of water. This was nearly empty. This is all the runoff from the top of the well house. So we use the rainwater to flush the toilets and stuff. So this is the end of that French drain now. And so water's running down here. I'm going to see if it's got enough water. There is water in there. I'm sure it's coming out, but it's got to be really slow. Yeah, we're not going to see anything. But it was working. I wish I could have showed you that. But it really doesn't matter that you saw it or not. I'll put an up next box at the end of this video to the video that I just showed you, or I made for you, where I dumped that water in to the French drain and it ran down. It worked fantastic. I wish, I hate to say this, I wish we could get a heavy downpour just to see if it works. I said this in a previous video. I work on this thing in the springtime because that's when I have problems with it. So it rains so much that this is the only time of the year I have a problem with it. The thing is for a year I don't get to mess with it. So I forget what I've done and forget what I wanted to do and what's the next step by the the next spring. So hopefully we get another downpour just to see if this works. Now I did get the well cleaned out. Well, I've done a lot. Well, Carolyn did a lot of studying. She actually showed me something, that there is a bacteria that eats rust. and it turns your water a greenish color, which is exactly the problem we're having. We're having this greenish color in the water. So the other day, I don't know, maybe a week or two ago, I told you that we were getting this discoloration. The water wasn't dirty, it was just discolored. But I also knew that the well pump was rusting. I could tell. Anytime I let the well pump sit for several days, I don't run it, the rust kind of accumulates in there. And then we have this discoloration for 2 or 3 days, and then it goes away, and it's just perfectly blue water again. But it's bacteria. Bacteria can be killed. So I told you in the past that I've shocked this well. I shock it regularly. I've only shocked it once, according to the appropriate procedures. But I do regularly disinfect the well. I guess is a better way to put it. So what you do is you get some bleach. And I know this has about 40 gallons of water in it. And so I put about just over half a cup of bleach in it. Now when you shock it, you should put, I don't know, half a gallon in it or something. But I don't want to do that, because then you got to pump the well out, and you can't use the well for the longest time. But the way I do it, I'm just disinfecting it. So there's bacteria in it that eats rust. So let's put some bleach in it and we'll kill that bacteria. It's not a hard process for me, because I don't have to unseal anything. When you have it professionally done, they have to come out and take the well cap off, and then of course they're going to shock it. Now what they mean by shocking it, like I said, you put a half a gallon in it, and then you turn the well on and you put water back down into it. So you're just recycling the water, and you let it sit for 24 hours, and the next day you come out and you flush out the well to get all that chlorine out. So I just, like I said, use a little bit over half a cup. You can do the math. And it doesn't matter for us. If I put too much in it, yeah, we'll get that chlorine taste in it. But we put it in the IBC tank. The IBC tank has 275 gallons of water in there. So by the time we get into the IBC tank, it's highly diluted. I mean, it's diluted in the well, but it's highly diluted. So we won't have any troubles with chlorine being in the water when we drink it. So all I do is I just, like I said, I just get a pint jar, and I fill about 3/4 full. And I have a hole here that holds the well pump with this rope. So all I got to do is take this funnel, stick it in that little hole, and I can dump my bleach in there, and it runs all the way down to the bottom. Now, the way I stir it is I just simply turn the well on. As you know, I have a hole in this pipe right here. The water comes out of this pipe about 70 feet down. And that keeps the pipe from freezing, because when I shut the well pump off, the water runs back down in that hole. Well, when I turn it on, that means water is spraying out. So, and the hole's about the size of my pinky, so it's spraying out. And I put a cover around it so the water doesn't spray out and hit the side of the well or anything. It just kind of dribbles down. So that stirs it up. That dribbling stirs that bleach up. So it's kind of like shocking the well, but it's just an easier way, so I don't have to go through all the troubles of dumping the water out, not being able to use the well for 24 hours. It's just a way of taking care of bacteria that may get down in there. But now that I know that we got this, I think it's called tinnitus, or I don't know what it's called. Somebody's going to correct me, so I better not say it. Regardless, it's a bacteria that eats rust. Now, the problem with that is the rust-eating bacteria is not harmful to you. But we Berkey all our water, we heat our water, so I have no worries that bacteria is even coming close to our lips. But it can create or make it a good environment for bacteria that is harmful. So that bacteria that's eating the rust creates other bacteria that can be harmful. So like I said, throw some bleach in there, that kills everything. The Berkey kills everything. Then we heat our coffee water. We bleach the 275 gallon IBC tank once a month to keep the algae out of it. So we take all kinds of precautions. I know a lot of people just assume to think that wells never have a problem, and they don't. They they're a lot better, in my opinion, than public water supplies. But they still have problems. Things happen, and you got to address those problems. I watched this one guy a long time ago on YouTube, and he was talking about the Berkey, and he made his own homemade Berkey, and he bought cheap filters just so he could demonstrate how to make a homemade Berkey. He said, but I'll never use this because I have a well, I don't need it. Well, like I said, rust can be introduced pretty easily into your system, and that bacteria can be introduced in your system pretty easily also. If you didn't sanitize your pump when you put it down there, you had a leak, flooding rains, anything could have gotten that rust bacteria in there. Now it introduces other bacteria. So I don't know. I would be more cautious than just letting it go. I would recommend that if you're going to shock the well, you do it at least once a year. Now, like I said, I don't, but I also don't trust my well. I go on the theory that my well has problems. I know it has problems, and I'm okay with it having problems. I get emails from people all the time telling me, you need to do this and do that and spend money and do this and dig everything up and hire contractors to come out and fix it. I don't need to do anything. I got water. As long as I know the water isn't safe, if I just tell myself the water isn't safe, then I know that I need to take precautions to make it safe. So if you've shocked the well or you need to shock the well, you should shock the well once a year. And it's not hard. You can look it up on YouTube. It's pretty easy to do. You don't really need to hire anybody to do it. And you just get bleach. The downside to most people's wells, though, is you use it nonstop. You have to shut the well down for 24 hours so that bleach has time to do its job. I don't have that problem. I use the well. I can go days without using the well. I fill the IBC tank up. I can bleach the well. And then I can live off the IBC tank for, 2 weeks if I wanted to. So it's no problem for me. I can keep this well shut off for 24 hours very easily. But if you have a family, dishes, drinking water, showers, you're using that well. So it's hard to shut off the well or any water supply. So my life is just so easy here. And I try to address a problem with the community. It's a regular problem. It's one I'd like to fix. I won't fix it. People say, you look so stressed with that well. I'm not stressed, not at all. I'm disappointed occasionally that, no, that didn't work. But it's actually kind of a challenge. It's something to keep my mind occupied. I mean, it's interesting. My uncle is partially retired. Well, he's retired, I guess, but he still goes in and volunteers and does things just because that's what he enjoys to do. Well, I enjoy doing this kind of stuff, working, problem solving. I problem solved my entire life. That's what I did. I was a quality consultant. We had problem solving, root cause analysis, corrective actions. So I'm going to walk down here. We're going to start the generator. That way, because it's been so cloudy today, that way we get a little charge on the batteries to get us through the night. Springtime's always a little bit rough when it comes to water and solar panels. I guess I should explain the tarp real quick. I did put the tarps here to kind of keep the water away from that where I was just sitting. I noticed that if I keep water away from that, the better off I am. So what I think happened in one of these flooding rains is there was so much water that it bypassed my guttering system. So you'll see here that I used a piece of this roofing material and I wrapped it around. And that water goes up underneath here and runs off down into my sink that I showed you. But I think the water was running off so fast that it came up over the well and was going down towards the well pump area. So if I put that tarp there, it forces that water to run off this direction. Just anything I can do to see what I can do to fix this without spending a fortune. And that's the thing, I've gotten 2 or 3 emails now basically telling me to rip up the whole well and start over. I'd rather not do that. I mean, the thing is I only have problems in the springtime. So 2 months out of the year, I had to put in a little bit of extra work on the well. Is it really worth spending $500, $1,000? It isn't to me. I know some people are going to say, oh, you're going to get old. You can't do this forever. Really? What is so hard about flushing out the well when it gets dirty? Nothing. Everything in my life is easy. And I don't need to take a lot of strides and spend a lot of money. I'd rather have that money when I'm old. I really would. So I don't have to make YouTube videos. You want to know my stress? YouTube is my stress. I know that's rude to say because everybody wants me to get on YouTube and be happy, but YouTube is the biggest stress in my life. I have to do it. It's my job. I would rather just be here, taking care of the place. So if you'll click this up next box, it'll take you to that video where I was showing you about that French drain. So I hope I can inspire you to take it easy so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.